My father is the father of many nations, but I am the forgotten son. Watch this video to know my story.
Imagine being the first son of the father of all nations, yet forgotten by history. This is the story of Ishmael, a man who was born to Abraham's servant, Hagar. Ishmael was cast aside at birth, while the world waited for the promised covenant child, Isaac. Ishmael was rejected and overlooked by his own family, and sent into the desert with his mother to survive. His life was filled with danger, struggle, and survival. Yet from exile, he would rise and become the father of nations. How did Abraham's forgotten son endure the wilderness? How did he leave a mark that time nearly forgotten? This is the story of Abraham's forgotten son. Who was he? What trials did he face? And how did he rise from exile to leave a mark that would shape nations? Today, we uncover the untold story of Abraham's forgotten son, Ishmael. If you love hidden stories from history and the Bible, hit that like button, comment your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss a tale like this. Abraham had waited for years for the child that God Almighty had promised him. God had made a covenant with him, promising that he would have a son through Sarah, the woman he loved. But time passed, and the promise seemed distant. Sarah was barren. Abraham felt doubt. His heart ached for a child, for an heir to carry on the promise. Hagar, Sarah's servant, lived quietly in the household, unnoticed by most. Yet when Sarah suggested that Abraham have a child with Hagar, Abraham listened and obeyed. Abraham went in with Hagar, and Hagar conceived. The child grew within her, and Abraham watched with hope and unease. The house was filled with whispers, tension, and quiet fear. When Ishmael was born, it was joy mixed with unease. Abraham held his firstborn son, his heart full yet conflicted. He loved him, but the shadow of the promised child, Isaac, already loomed. Sarah's envy and pride whispered in the background. Ishmael, the boy of Hagar, was loved and yet overlooked. He was a child of hope, but also a child born of human impatience. From the very beginning, Ishmael's life was marked by tension. Angels had promised that Abraham's line would endure, yet Abraham himself struggled to understand the role of this firstborn. Ishmael's presence reminded him of human flaws, doubts, and choices that sometimes collide with divine promises. Even in the cradle, Ishmael's future seemed uncertain. The boy who brought Abraham joy also brought questions. Who would he become? Could he survive the trials that awaited him? History almost forgot him, but God had a plan. Ishmael's journey, his exile, and his legacy were just beginning. And it was a journey that would take him from the shadows of rejection to the deserts where nations would rise from his descendants. The boy cast aside was about to show that even the forgotten can leave an everlasting mark. Years passed, and the tension in Abraham's household grew. Sarah finally bore Isaac, the long-promised child. Joy filled her heart, but envy followed close behind. She looked at Hagar and Ishmael with resentment. Her voice trembled with anger as she demanded that Abraham take action. "Send them away. I cannot have this boy inherit with my son." Abraham's heart sank. Ishmael was his firstborn. He loved the boy, but he also feared displeasing God. The weight of Sarah's words pressed down on him. He struggled, prayed, and wrestled with the decision. Obedience, love, and duty clashed inside him. Finally, God spoke, guiding Abraham. He had to send Ishmael and Hagar into the wilderness, but he would not abandon them entirely. Hagar packed their few belongings. She took Ishmael, who was still a young boy, into the barren desert. The sun scorched their skin. The wind bit their faces. Hunger gnawed at their bellies. Every step was a test, every moment a battle. The world seemed against them. Abraham watched from afar, tears in his eyes, heart torn, yet faithful that God would protect them. Alone in the wilderness, fear threatened to overwhelm Hagar. Ishmael clung to her, frightened by the endless sands and the unknown ahead. She whispered promises of protection, comfort, and faith, though her own heart trembled. The boy did not understand fully, but he felt his mother's courage. That courage would guide him through the trials to come. It was a moment of exile, of rejection, yet also the beginning of Ishmael's resilience. The boy, cast aside by man, would survive by faith. The forgotten son would walk the path that would make him the father of nations. In the wilderness, Ishmael learned the first lesson of his life. Even when rejected, you can endure, and your destiny can still unfold. But survival in the desert was only the beginning. The boy, once forgotten, would face challenges that tested every part of him, body, mind, and spirit. The trials of the wilderness were harsh, but they would shape him for the legacy that history almost forgot. The desert stretched endlessly before Hagar and Ishmael. Sand burned their feet. The sun scorched their backs. Hunger and thirst gnawed at them. Every step felt heavier than the last. The world seemed empty, cruel, and unforgiving. Hagar held Ishmael close, whispering words of comfort. "We will survive," she said. "God has not forgotten us." But her voice trembled. Fear lurked in every shadow, every gust of wind. She searched desperately for water, shelter, anything to keep her son alive. Then, when hope seemed lost, the impossible happened. God heard their cries. An angel appeared, a whisper in the wind, a promise that they would not perish. A well of water sprang from the sand, quenching their thirst and giving them strength to continue. The impossible became reality. Divine protection carried them through the harshest of trials. Ishmael drank deeply, feeling life return to his body. He looked at his mother and saw courage reflected in her eyes. In that moment, he understood that survival was not just about food or water. It was about faith, determination, and the will to endure. The boy who had been cast aside was learning to stand on his own, to rise from rejection and hardship. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. Ishmael grew stronger with every challenge. He learned to navigate the desert, to hunt, to endure the scorching sun and freezing nights. Hagar guided him, but Ishmael began to discover his own strength, his own resilience. The forgotten son was no longer just surviving, he was learning to thrive. From the wilderness, a legacy was beginning to form. Ishmael, once cast out, would grow into a man whose descendants would become nations. The boy forgotten by men was remembered by God, and the seeds of his destiny were being planted in the sands of the desert. But this was only the beginning. The desert had tested him, but greater trials awaited. Ishmael's journey would not only define his life, but shape history itself. Ishmael grew strong in the desert. The boy, once cast aside, became a man of courage, wisdom, and resilience. He learned to lead, to survive, to care for those around him. The hardships of his youth had forged him into a man capable of shaping the future. He married, built a family, and fathered 12 sons. Each son would become the head of a tribe, stretching across vast lands. From the exile of Ishmael rose nations that would endure for generations. The boy, once forgotten by Abraham and overlooked by history, now carried a legacy far greater than many imagined. Even as time passed, his story echoed in the lives of his descendants, a lineage born from struggle, survival, and faith. Ishmael's life proved that rejection is not the end, that being cast aside does not mean being forgotten. The hand of God had guided him, turning exile into destiny, struggle into triumph. And while many remember Isaac as the promised son, Ishmael's story stands as a testament to resilience. The forgotten son became the father of nations. His journey from the wilderness to legacy shows that even those cast into the shadows can rise and shape history forever. Ishmael's life reminds us that our beginnings do not define our endings. Cast aside, sent into the wilderness, and almost forgotten, he rose through faith, courage, and resilience. The boy overlooked by history became the father of nations, leaving a legacy that shaped generations. Ishmael's life teaches us that even when the world forgets you, determination and faith can turn rejection into destiny. His journey from exile to greatness is a story of endurance, hope, and the unexpected ways history unfolds. If Ishmael's story inspired you, support our channel by hitting the like button. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to share this video with friends who love incredible hidden stories from history and the Bible. Make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss another tale from the forgotten corners of the past. And if you want to help us continue bringing these legendary stories to life, check out the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description. Every contribution helps us tell more stories that history almost forgot. Thank you for watching. We will see you again for another round of bizarre tales.